What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live, and we apologize, a little bit of tech issues, but we are back and better than ever. And you know it's Monday night, so we're going to go 5 wide as we count down to Monday Night Football. The Raiders and the LA Chargers, a battle for first place in the AFC West. We have so much to get to, sides, totals, props, but also some storylines from Sunday that I'm going to have all my guys weigh in on. So let's meet the stars of the show. Right below me, you know him, AB, Alan Bell. What's good, man?
Coach, good to see you. Good to see you, boys. Glad to be on.
Also, right next to AB, he is one of the sharpest fantasy minds, betting minds you will ever find. We call him Sia. Sia, welcome back to the Early Edge.
Coach, I love these Monday night shows, man. I'm ready to get after it.
Awesome. Now, speaking of getting after, whenever I say the word props, he just goes like this, because that's his wheelhouse. That's his world. Alex, he has prop stars on the Twitter. And by the way, the Twitter is the only thing working today, by the way, apparently. Alex, welcome back to the show.
What's up, Coach? Look at this lineup. It's an honor to be here with all you guys. I'm super stoked. I don't normally appear on Monday nights. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Look at these guys, the best minds in the business. Let's get down.
So what does it tell you that you're on the Monday show now? What does that tell you? What do you think that tells you?
Things are going well. We're taking tickets to the payout window.
You're damn right things are going well, and we love having you as much as humanly possible. Now, he's been a rock star for a long time. We call him M-Squared, Mike McClure, whatever you want to call him. He is here. Mikey, what's up, man?
Not much, Coach. Running through a lot of DFS stuff right now. Had to wait for an active tonight. We could start with that. Josh Jacobs is active for the game. That changes things a little bit. But I was really looking to see if Jalen Richard was going to be active for them, as he had a large role in the passing game for them in the past. So that's why I'm going to be busy for the first 10 minutes of the show or so, finishing up some of these DFS numbers. But feeling good, ready to go. There's a couple narratives in this game that I'll talk about in a bit that I absolutely love.
All right, so you do your fantasy thing. I got 3 other guys that can talk and talk and talk and talk. So here on the show, we like to be fans as well. We like to look back at some of the storylines of Sunday before we get into our plays for tonight. But I will tell you, because Zach is not on the show tonight, the 3 plays he gave out on the morning show: Chargers -3, Jared Cook over 39.5 receiving yards, and Henry Ruggs over 44.5 receiving yards as well. We'll get the other plays out, but that's what Zach had from the morning. So I just wanted to give those out really, really quick. So we'll hit the sides, what totals, what props, we'll hit it all. But first, I want to hit on a few little nuggets, gentlemen, from the world of the NFL that could affect the betting lines down the road. We got to start with our man, Urban Meyer, viral videos. Normally, he's not part of that. But apparently, if you haven't seen it yet, he stayed over in Ohio after Jacksonville fell to 0-4, and to see the grandkids, he said. So they went out to a restaurant. A group came over, asked him to come over to dance. He then sat on a stool and proceeded to let some blonde woman dance all over him. And then that led to an apology today. He used Trevor Lawrence's bachelor party as one of the reasons for being stupid. But all in all, it was bad for Urban Meyer. Dan Orlovsky, who I respect about as much as anybody at ESPN, said today on NFL Live, Urban should be gone. How can you be a leader of men when you can't even control how you behave? AB, do we think we're going to have a new head coach for the Jacksonville Jags in the next couple of weeks?
There's definitely going to be one next year. I look at him. He just doesn't look happy. I mean, off the field, he doesn't look happy. Well, he looked happy at the bar, excuse me on that one. But other than that, yeah, I mean, on the field, like, he just looks miserable. In his press conferences, he looks miserable. Like, I just don't know if this job is for him. And beyond all the funny stuff with it, like, there are some real questions here. Like, one, he did throw Trevor Lawrence under the bus, but why is the head coach not flying back with his team, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but that really doesn't happen, you know, especially when your team is 0-4, right? Like, it just doesn't seem like a guy who is all in on this job, in a job where you absolutely have to be all in.
Well, you bring up a great point, because when you're in college and you are the CEO of Ohio State or Florida, or whoever you're coaching, if you're Urban Meyer, you can do whatever you want to do. You're the highest paid employee at the university. There's nobody that's going to tell you what to do. This is pro football now. This is pro football now. You're dealing with grown-ass men. Sia, your thoughts on what went down today?
It's not a good look. I mean, Urban Meyer is no stranger to bad looks, if we're being honest. So, like, just kind of, chalk this up to yet another chapter of the Urban Meyer, frenzy. But I agree with Alan. First of all, I don't think he's going to be let go by Jacksonville. I just don't think that's going to happen. But to Alan's point, I don't know that he is going to be the coach next year. And I think that's going to be because he doesn't want to be the coach and he finds an out, whether that's going to a place like USC or somewhere else. This isn't for him. And again, this is a bird's eye view here. So it's not like I'm in these rooms, but optics really kind of are everything. And the optics, like Alan said, they just don't look very good here. So I don't think Urban Meyer is invested. I don't think he's all in, which is why I think he is already considering new opportunities.
Well, when he says, Alex, that I have to play Alabama every single week in the NFL, that was very telling for me when he had that quote. But from a betting perspective now, Alex, when you have a team that is out on their head coach and doesn't want to buy in on what they're doing, that can definitely affect the betting lines, the props, everything about a game if a team's not in. Can it not?
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. I mean, he's seemed in over his head from day one since he's taken the job. It's just his entire tenure has kind of been disaster after disaster. I have to imagine, again, I'm not in the locker room, but he's got to have lost the team at this point. It's hard to respect a guy that, just has like one devastating train wreck after another. So, yeah, from an entertaining standpoint, though, I'm really enjoying watching this. It's better than a lot of reality television. So
I'll get to Mike, you in a second. I do have to applaud our audience because we tell you all the time that it's all about appointment watching and appointment listening. And I tell you what, you've done that. We're already at 200 likes, over 200 likes, without me even saying anything, which was on purpose today. So let's get to as many likes as possible. If you're new to the show, all I need you to do is hit the like button one time. We'll give away 1 for 100, 2 for 200, and you get my point. Now, if we get to 500 likes on the show, and we routinely have over 1,000 people watching the show, 500 likes should be easy. We're going to give away a brand new Early Edge t-shirt, hot off the presses. Hardly anybody has them yet, but you're going to get one if we get to 500 likes. So our first winner today is at Undead Friend 3. At Undead Friend 3, you are the latest member. Welcome to the SportsLine family. Now, Mikey, over to you because I know you have really good takes on this type of thing. Do you think it will affect the lines or anything when it comes to betting at all with the Jags?
I think it might be an opportunity to bet on them to cover the spread in the next game. I think the team is going to come out and be motivated personally. I think that spread will be inflated to the point where there's probably value on betting on the Jaguars. I do like the guys have already mentioned. I think it's very awkward. He would not fly home with the team. Just how easy it is to get flights, how the resources that these people have, like fly home and catch another flight back if you have to. But after a loss like that, you need to be there with the rookie quarterback. You need to be on that flight home. So I just think it's a really, really, really bad look. But as far as the betting market goes, I don't expect him to be let go. There's a chance that he just says, I'm done and totally gives up on it. But I think that if anything, there will be value in betting on Jacksonville in the next game, just because, like I said, I think it'll be massive, massive inflation in the market on the other side.
All right, very good. You guys are amazing at home, by the way. As Mikey was talking, we already got up to 358 likes. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So here's 2 more winners. At WRJ24 Jr. and at Knockout Covers, you're the latest 2. So we've given away 3 already, and we're going to give away 3 more as soon as we pick the winners right now. So you got to leave your Twitter handle in the comment section. Also, you have to follow us at SportsLine, and we will make you eligible. So those are the only things you got to do, but we got to be able to get a hold of you on social media. Now, another big story today before we get into Monday Night Football, and that is Matt Nagy being Matt Nagy. Chicago Bears head coach, who clearly is on the chopping block this year. He came out after his rookie quarterback went 11 of 17, 209 yards, only 1 interception, did not throw a touchdown. But guys, Matt Nagy said that if Andy Dalton is healthy, the job is still his after beating the Lions by 10 and looking really good in the process. Does Matt Nagy just not get it? Mikey, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. He's got it set in stone that the rookie needs to be the backup for a year and sit there and learn. And, to that point, I think it's not the worst thing. The issue that he has is we've seen the sample size with him on the field. However, I will say he looked fine in that game. He has looked great the entire sample size that we've seen from him. So I think that he's saying it right now. And I think that Andy Dalton may still not be 100% ready to go. So I think he might just be kind of saying that and generating some buzz and some attention for the team in general. But overall, I do think it would be crazy to not develop that quarterback a little bit more when the option is Andy Dalton. If it was someone else, totally fine with it. Have zero issue at all. But it's Andy Dalton with his age at this point in his career. It's not like it's a massive improvement. So I think that it's a little crazy, but I think some of it might be a little bit of speak. And then I think he's going to be pressured into playing Justin Fields at some point here.
Well, from a props perspective, Alex, let's come to you. Justin Fields is certainly a different quarterback than Andy Dalton. How do you think it'll affect that depending on who starts moving forward?
Yeah, Coach. I personally agree with Mike regarding Fields. He is somewhat of a developmental project. I expected his development to take longer than a lot of quarterbacks like Lawrence and Zach Wilson, who are a little more NFL ready. So I do understand the line of thinking of wanting him to develop behind a veteran like Andy Dalton. But like Mike said, Dalton is just, he's a fringe caliber starter. So you're, wasting his reps potentially for a guy that doesn't necessarily give you the best chance of winning. But yeah, both of them offer kind of a different look for the offense. So yeah, Dalton is a little more limited as far as some of the things he can do, where Fields is obviously a lot more mobile. So yeah, it does totally change the dynamic of how I would evaluate props depending on who's in there.
All right. CAB, I want to come to you with the last storyline today that absolutely could have affected some of the things yesterday. The Denver Broncos are furious that the Baltimore Ravens, with 3 seconds to go to the game, up 16, decided to run and go over 100 yards for an NFL record 43rd straight game. That very much could have been affected by betting. Now, Sia, let me come to you. Should the Denver Broncos have been upset that they were running the ball up 16 with 3 seconds to go in the game?
I mean, in the moment, I can understand why they probably would have gotten upset. But knowing that Lamar Jackson got the yards, and then if memory serves, he kind of just laid down after he got the requisite yards. So it's not like they were trying to run up the score. I really don't have a huge problem with it. I understand why Denver's coach was upset, but I think he really kind of blew it out of proportion at his press conference. He said some things that I guarantee you he will regret in the very near future. And again, it's not that big of a deal. If they were going for a touchdown and they were on the 3 or 4 yard line, I think it's a different story. But no, it's not a big deal to me. By the way, real quick, Coach, on the Matt Nagy thing. So 2 games ago, he was the OC for Justin Fields against the Cleveland Browns. They gained a total of 47 yards. He delegated the OC duties to Bill Lazor last game. Granted, it's a different defense, the Detroit Lions, 373 total yards. So, I mean, this is like, it's just night and day. Like, he was at least smart enough to delegate week 4, but apparently not smart enough to keep Justin Fields on the field with Bill Lazor calling the plays.
Incredible. Now, AB, you're going to be the final take, and we're going to move on to Monday Night Football on either Denver or, I apologize to see you, even on the Bears. You got anything on either one?
Yep. Yeah, real quick. Yeah, on the Bears, he is exactly right. You're looking at a man who's running out of control, running out of time. He's done this Bill Lazor move before, and it worked last year, and he went right back to himself. It's the same thing he's doing. Watch. He'll take play calling duties back. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And that's what he's doing with Andy Dalton. It's a situation of that. Now, in terms of the Broncos thing, yeah, I mean, it's dumb. I certainly understand why Vic Fangio felt that way in the moment. I think I would too. Just deal on the ball, get out of here. Let's be done. However, the takeaway is this. John Harbaugh just let all of us know that these little things mean something to him and the team. When we talk about them not losing in the preseason, that means something. Mm-hmm. They talk about this. They put it on the board. It's discussed. So the next, little nuggets that you see about the Baltimore Ravens that we think teams don't really discuss this, they absolutely do discuss it, and you might want to pay attention.
All right, very good. Very good takes by you four, and I appreciate that very much. All right, now it is time to shift our gear, our focus to Monday Night Football. And here's what the numbers look like. The Chargers, -3. It's been steady throughout the week, and the total coming in at 51 and a half. So let's start with the spread in the game because it's been steady. And this is a game that it could go either way. 2 really good quarterbacks. As we look at it, I think it's going to be a dynamic showing. And I know, AB, you have a play on the total coming up. But let's start with Sia. Your thought on the spread, and has it been right? It's been steady at -3 all week.
I think it's a good line. Honestly, if I was making the line, I'd probably go 3.5 or 4. I think the Chargers are the better team here. I'm not a big fan of just taking the favorite. I'm trying to find a reason to take the dog here, but I just can't do it with the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are playing well. They're a good team. I just think the Chargers are superior. And honestly, we're looking at a 3-game sample size with the Raiders. And let's be honest about who they've beaten. You could have made, by the way, you just brought up Denver and Vic Fangio's team. They had a pretty weak sample size. I believe it was the Giants, Jets, and Jacksonville Jaguars that they beat in the first 3 weeks. So we didn't really know who Denver was. I'm not so sure we know who the Raiders are after beating the Ravens in week 1. We know how banged up the Ravens are on both sides of the ball. The Steelers, where that whole team seems to be a shell of itself, and the Miami Dolphins, who at this point is probably one of the worst 5 teams in the NFL, in my opinion. So knowing that, and knowing that the Chargers beat the Washington football team, the Dallas they played and lost to the Dallas Cowboys and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to play the game of, hey, compare who they played, but going into this season, I thought the Chargers were superior. And at this point, looking at who they've played, it doesn't change my mind.
All right. Mikey, let's come to you on the spread. Do you agree with Sia, or do you think it should be there at 3 or lower?
No, I agree with Sia here. I actually make this one closer -5 for the Chargers. I think the thing that we talk about a lot with these teams, especially the Chargers, more so than the Rams, the home field advantage doesn't really exist much. It might be more like a home game for the Raiders than anything tonight. That is certainly something to account for, but I do make the Chargers the better team here. I think that it's interesting. It's maybe just a little bit like that Minnesota team we've talked about when Dalvin Cook's on the field. Josh Jacobs active once again. How much are they going to force him the ball after not having him out there again? I do believe that the Chargers are the better team here, and I believe that some of their numbers are still influenced by having the coaching staff and everything that they did over the last year before this. And I think that they remain slightly undervalued because I do think they're a little bit better at hanging on and winning some of those close games in the end.
Very good. Very good analysis. Now let's quickly switch over to the total. And I know AB, you're on the total here. You gave a play out this morning. What do you like here? Over, under?
Yep, I like the over 51.5. And look, I'm looking at the defenses. I think that really tells the story. Look, we know the Chargers really can't stop the run. They're giving up 5.8 yards per rush, but the Raiders aren't much better. They're giving up 4.8. And then you look at pass yards per play. The Raiders are almost giving up 6. The Chargers are almost giving up 7. And look, I'm not going to sit here and just, read all stats to you. I'm telling you what they're going to do. The Raiders are going to use the run to set up the pass. The Chargers are going to use the short pass and the swing pass to set up the longer pass. So I believe that this is a game that if anybody's going to win is going to have to be high 20s, low mid 30s. And I think both teams get there because even if we do see turnovers, which we'll talk about here in a little while, that's going to set up both teams nicely, right? But one thing that I do want to say, I want everyone to take a look at what happened this week, okay? Denver, the Giants, the Jets, who else? The Chiefs. You're seeing all these teams, the Seahawks, all right? Losing streaks, winning streaks. They kind of came to the medium here, right? Kind of came to the medium. And if we kind of believe that plays out in this game, that means that Las Vegas probably drops back a little bit because I think they're playing a little over their heads better than what they are. So I don't have a play on the spread, but I'm definitely feeling the over 51.5.
And real quick, and Alex, I'm going to come to you. What was because this is a divisional game. You gave us a stat a few days ago that the over when the favorite covers, I believe, is 5-2 at that point. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. When you have two divisional teams playing in a game, if you're going to ride with the home team to cover, there were 7 coming into this week. The over was 5-2. If you're riding with the road team and they cover, there's been 5 of those. The under is 5-0. So I know that sounds confusing. Just think road team covers, unders 5-0, home team covers, overs 5-2.
Crazy. Alex, you've been shaking your head over there. You want to jump in on something, pal?
Yeah, sure. I'm with AB. I like the over. I think both of these offenses are really explosive. They've obviously scored a lot of points this season. On the other side, both defenses have been susceptible to allowing big plays. The Raiders are currently 5th in passing attempts per game, while the Chargers rank 2nd. So, yeah, both these teams are throwing the ball a lot. I expect a lot of offenses. I haven't been overly impressed with either defense. I was expecting the Chargers defense to be a lot better than it's played. And, yeah, the Raiders defense has been a middle-of-the-pack unit, kind of what I expected out of them. So, yeah, I expect both both teams to air the ball out a lot and to be a high-scoring, competitive division game.
Very, very good. All right. It's amazing. You guys, you fans are so incredible. We're almost to 500 likes. We have nearly 800 people watching live right now. So take the comments down. If you haven't hit the like button, you can only do it once. Let's get to as many as we can so we can get so many people involved with SportsLine so you can all see what it's all about. All right, here's our 4 new winners. At Christian Vitz, at Kenny Farrell 84, at Cody 4601, and at Stat Dome the Jeweler. We'll reach out to you on social media and give you all the details. All you got to do, hit that like button and leave your Twitter handle in the comment section. Also, we want to know, do you think the Chargers cover tonight -3? Give me a 1 in the comment section. Or if you think the Raiders are going to cover, give me a 2. And we're going to keep track of that poll and give you the stats at the end of the show. So we are approaching the bottom of the hour. And I have learned here on this show that you got to give the most time to what, Alex? What do we give the most time to?
So the opportunities.
You're damn right, to the opportunities, and there are a ton tonight at the game. So let's get into our props for the night. AB, I'm going to start with you. Whatever you got prop-wise, go ahead and give them to me.
Yep, I got 2 props for tonight. First, we're going to go with Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson over 1.5 field goals at -115. Look, he already has 9 field goals in 3 games this season. Obviously, it's averaging 3 per game. He's 100%, and he has a long of 55, so we have range here. So if the Raiders aren't exactly getting, inside the 20 and, having to kick a field goal, look, we've got opportunities. They're going to come from that, especially even if it's high scoring. I think it's going to be a pretty tight game. Second prop play that we have, Justin Herbert over half of an interception, so essentially just needs to throw an interception. And I know that kind of sounds crazy. He's already got 3 this year, and he's played in 18 NFL games in his career. He has 13 interceptions. So he's averaging 1 per game already this season, and he's pretty high up throughout his entire career. And if we're looking at a game to where if he's throwing, and I defer to you guys, y'all would know more than me, 38 to 42 attempts, our opportunity goes up much higher. So, yep, those 2 props.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so we just had, I don't know where it went, but we just had a YouTube comment that I absolutely loved. And Justin Ross, Julius, pull that up. He says, remember, AB, the last time you picked kicker, you learned his name just for him to flop on the show.
Yeah. Hey, first off, Justin, you're exactly right. It's hilarious. You know what happened that last week? They cut him. And that's exactly what needed to happen. So he's gone.
The AB curse.
The AB curse. That's what it is. The AB curse.
Can I jump in here real quick and say that as the Panthers fan, I should have told AB not to play anything Joey Slide because he literally lost his job in the preseason to a guy who lost his job in week 2.
That voice you hear is Oz, or we call him the jeweler here at the show. He runs it all behind the scenes and does an unbelievable job to keep it all on the tracks. All right, Sia, let's come over to you. Before I get to all the props in the comment section, do you have anything you're looking at tonight that you like?
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow over 49.5 receiving yards. His snap share isn't what I want it to be relative to like Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs, but when he's on the field, he's usually getting targeted in the routes that he runs. So FYI, on the Raiders side, behind Darren Waller, he is the receiver that's slotted to get the most receiving yards if you're actually just looking at the props. So that should at least tell you something, whether it's for DFS or for betting props about Hunter Renfrow. But I like him. I think the number's a little high, don't get me wrong, but I like him over 49.5 receiving yards. The Chargers will try to keep things underneath a little bit. I mean, that's just kind of what they do. I think they're going to let a lot of the short area passes in there, and Hunter Renfrow is just kind of a master at that. So I like that. And I'll tell you one other thing that I noticed. Just because, Mike mentioned that Josh Jacobs is active and he was talking about the inactives and whatnot. Peyton Barber's over for rushing yards is 17.5. I think that's interesting because I think what that number is telling me, and I'd love to get Alex's and Mike's opinion on this unofficially, of course. It's telling me that they anticipate that Josh Jacobs is going to get a pretty extensive workload. He's coming off an ankle injury, which I suppose could be aggravated, but also Peyton Barber rushed for well over 100 yards last week against the Dolphins. So it's not like they don't trust Peyton Barber to go in there and steal some carries regardless of Jacobs' health. So I think 17.5 is kind of low against this Chargers defense. I think I might want to take the over there as well.
Alex, you want to weigh in on that? And then Mike,
I like that a lot. See ya. The corpse of Peyton Barber last week had 111 rushing yards, super productive. I can't remember the last time a Raider had a 100-yard rushing game. I think it dated back to before last season even. So, yeah, he obviously has the trust of Gruden. I like that a lot. I can't imagine they're just going to turn the whole entire backfield, at least all the early down touches, over to Jacobs, who, like Sia mentioned, is on a bum ankle. Barber looked really good. I'm gotta imagine he's going to continue to be mixed in on early down work. So, yeah, I would like that a lot as well.
Mikey?
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on it just because I do agree that it's not going to be 100% the Josh Jacobs show. I think they're going to use all three running backs, and I think it's not going to be a great situation. And then the other thing is I am on the side of the Chargers being the better team and potentially being ahead in this game. So I'm a little bit worried about the game script there. If it doesn't go their way early in the first quarter, I think that they could be throwing just a touch more than they normally would. So I'm personally not going to play it. The number is low. Like if you have any insight to the fact that he's definitely going to have earned those reps, then absolutely that number is low. It probably should be closer to 25. But I'm not going to play it just because I personally believe that all three of those Raiders backs are going to be out there tonight.
We are crossing the bottom of the hour, and we're going to get to the Austin Eckler picks in a second. But you guys know sometimes I just get irked. Sometimes I got to call somebody out, right? I feel like this is one of those times. Jeweler, bring it up for me if you would, please. So we're giving out a few numbers tonight, and we always, every time that the number has changed, we say this is what it's opened at, here's what it is now. So my man Damien writes, you guys need to do this show on Friday or Saturday. Give us props that have all changed from when you all placed them. Damon, there's a little show on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern time called our NFL Props Special, where all we do is props, nothing else. But you want us to do a show on Friday. So guess what? I guess we'll do a show at 2 p.m. Eastern this Friday, and we'll only do props. But guess what? We'll also do this show on Monday night and the show last night on Sunday night and update our props as we go along, if that's okay with you. If that's okay with you. Drives me bananas. You can only lead the horses to water. You cannot make them drink. Unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Bill, you know the drill, Bill. Don't throw a comment in there and think it's just going to slide through if it's so completely wrong. Now, Alex, I know you're looking at a couple things on this game. I know you tweaked a little bit. I know that you always say, hey, I liked it at this number. It's now at this number, and I would play it up to here. That's how you always do it. So I'm going to sit back, I'm going to calm down, and I'm going to let you give me what you're liking tonight in the game.
Yeah, so the first prop that I'm on, I've given this out earlier in the week. I'm curious if the jeweler can bring up what the present number is, but it's Austin Eckler over. I called it at over 34.5 receiving yards. I believe it's in the 40.5 to 42.5 range. But yeah, just to touch on the play. After a season opener where Eckler was inexplicably not targeted once in the passing game, he has totaled 15 catches, 113 yards, 1 touchdown over the last 2 games in the receiving game. He's gone over this total in 10 of the last 13 regular season games, dating back to last season. Good for a 77% hit rate. He'll face a Raiders team that is in the middle of the pack in most defensive categories. They've really just struggled defending the middle of the field, where Eckler thrives as a major mismatch for linebackers to handle. So he's cleared this in 2 of the 3 regular season games this season. He's averaging 38 receiving yards per game this season. Over his last 29 regular season games, dating back to basically when he's become somewhat of a full-time player, he's averaging 52 receiving yards per game, has gone over in 18 of 29 of those games. That's a 62% hit rate. I brought up earlier how Los Angeles ranks 5th in passing attempts per game, while Las Vegas is 2nd in a matchup that just feels destined to feature a ton of passing. I'm banking on Eckler being a focal point of Los Angeles passing attack. This number is low. It should have opened at 45.5 in my opinion. And yeah, it doesn't require a large target share to get to 35 receiving yards.
I got Eckler to 39.5 about 15 minutes ago, so it's still around that 40 number, so it's all good. Real quick, we've hit 500 likes before I get to Mikey and what he's looking at tonight on the show. So I'm going to pick a winner right here because I want to see if we can actually pull something off. So my man Joe Neuenfeld, something like that, he just wrote me, Coach, I want an early edge shirt. I'll wear it for a week straight at Dude Goods. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Joe, you just won that early edge shirt. We're going to send it to you. But what you have to do for us is 5 days in a row. You have to tweet out you in the early edge picture so we can then retweet it, and you've got to put different fingers up, and you've got to be able to show me you're wearing it for an entire week. I don't care how you do it, or you'll never win anything ever again on the show. I promise you. But you win this one, but you got to back up what you just said. I love it. I love it. Keep pounding that like button. Let's get to 600. If we get to 700, the bosses just called. Swear to God, they just called me while Alex was talking. And he said the brand new pint glass that everybody wants, that you want to sit back in your recliner and drink and say, oh, how am I enjoying this beer and this winning cash ticket? It says the early edge on my pint glass. 700 likes, I'll give you one. All right? But we got to go through 600 first. All right, keep pounding that. Oh, there it is. Oh, that looks absolutely glorious. I don't even have one yet. You know me, I'm still drinking out of some cheap plastic cup. Oh, that's nice. By the way, AB, somebody thought you were drinking Lysol. I don't know what you're drinking over there, but somebody said, are you drinking Lysol?
It's in Arizona. But, here's the funny thing. I saw that comment. You probably saw me laughing randomly out of nowhere because I saw that comment. One, it's hilarious. And two, it does look like a thing of Lysol. So, yeah, I mean, the comment made sense. Absolutely.
All right, moving on. M squared. How do you follow that? Because I know you have an interesting drink that you've kind of fallen into lately too. Wasn't it you that has an interesting drink?
Liquid Death.
Yeah, Liquid Death. It's a little water here. It looks like a beer, but it is actually just a can of water. Talk about it every week with Sia over on the Fantasy Football Today DFS podcast. Actually, all right. First and only play that I've got so far, but there might be two coming off of this. I'm going back to the Mike Williams well here. Interesting narrative. Tonight is Mike Williams' birthday.
Ooh.
Gets to play at home. It's a birthday game for Mike Williams. Love this spot for him, though. Love the target share so far this season. He has seen consistent targets, which is one thing that we are very excited about. 12, 10, 9. Every game he's approaching that number of 10. Got a really, really good shot at hitting deep balls here. I think this is a great spot for him. I think a lot of attention, and rightfully so, is going to be on Austin Eckler out of the backfield. A lot of it's going to be on Keenan Allen, especially because of the kind of routes that Keenan Allen runs. After this show, right before the game starts, I'll tweet out a video of a play that the Chargers ran once this season that I think they're going to hit him on again tonight. So I do lean towards the over on his longest reception prop at 24.5 as well. But I played the over 76.5 receiving yards here. This number has been fascinating to watch in the market all day today. It's been moving. It's been up as high as 80.5. Come right back down to 76 here just recently. There's definitely sharp money hitting both sides of this one, but that number, that move from 80 to 76 typically does not happen on game day. However, I am not concerned about it at all. I like this spot for him. I think the game will be competitive, but I do think that they will take the deep shots to him tonight. So I'm taking Mike Williams over 76.5 receiving yards. I would play it still at 80.5.
Okay. So you're telling me that you actually adjust your prop as the line moves during the day? That's crazy talk, Mikey. We don't do that here. Apparently, we don't do that here. We don't adjust our lines from Friday. Apparently not. As he drinks his liquid death. What a thing. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I really like that prop as well. Mike Williams has been phenomenal this year. He looks like he's the second option in the passing game. I also wanted to point out, just to back up Mike's play, that Herbert is throwing of his pass attempts, 72.4% of them are going to receivers. And I believe that is the highest percentage of any quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, he's heavily targeting his receivers. Mike Williams, I believe he's had double-digit targets or close to it in every single game. He's just been a major part of the offense. He's taken a major step forward. It's a huge breakout for him. He looks phenomenal. I really like it as well.
All right, very good. All right, so those are all our official plays on the show. We'll have a recap full screen at the end of the show in about 15 minutes or so. But this is where you can be a part of the show. If you have a prop that you are interested in, or you want to know what our experts think about it, throw it in the comment section. We'll get to as many as we possibly can. All right, I want to start with Waller because he has been a guy that's been a beast, and everybody wants to play him because the first week Derek Carr looked at him every single play. His number is 72.5 receiving yards. Mikey, let's start with you. Do you like that?
I'm not playing it. I would feel very uncomfortable playing the under on it, but I'm not playing it here. I think that we've seen the last two games. He had 7 targets in each one of those. At that number in the position that he plays and everything else they've got going on, I would be more comfortable if we thought he was going to have 9 targets consistently. I think that's what he's going to need outside of breaking one long one. But again, he does have that upside, so I don't feel great about playing the under on it. But unfortunately, because of that big 19 target game where he went over 105 yards in that first game, it's really kind of manipulated the market to the point where I don't think that there's really much edge there. I'll tell you what I would be interested, though, is one thing that I've been doing a lot recently is a lot of books now have live in-game props. Look for, if they're not hitting him early in the game, they're probably not scoring. And if they're not hitting him early in the game and they're not scoring, this live prop is going to come down to like 40 to 45. Mm-hmm. If they're down by 10 points, smash that over on that live prop, because he's going to get there through sheer volume in the second half or when they're actually trailing. So that's how I'm going to elect to play someone here, because right now I'm under on that initial number, but again, it's just gross and not something you want to do. So I'll be looking for an in-game opportunity on Waller.
Did you say smash that over? Is that what you said? Smash the over? Just like we are smashing the like button right now. You guys are amazing. We're almost to 700. We're over 600. As soon as Jeweler tells me what we're giving away for that, I'll give it out. But also, my man Glenn Abbott, this is how sharp my guys are. You think people watch the show? Listen to this. Put this up, Jeweler. You guys are unbelievable market movers. As Mikey was giving out the Mike Williams play, it moved to 77.5 right before his eyes. I'm telling you right now, these books have people watching our shows. It's fact. Well, maybe not fact, but it's fact. And that is a perfect example of that. All right, let's keep it moving now. Justin Herbert, he's going to be a big storyline in the game tonight. I want to come to you. Over 12.5 rushing yards. Last week he ran for 16. Do you like it?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm going to bet, but what the Raiders can do, even without blitzing, is generate a lot of pressure, which I think is going to just force Justin Herbert to escape here and there. And we know that when quarterbacks are forced to do that, usually there's some open lanes to get some rushing yards. So while I don't consider Justin Herbert a rushing quarterback, I think this is a pretty good opportunity to take that.
All right. Alex, what about Justin Herbert over 2.5 touchdowns?
Do we have the odds on hand, Coach?
It was plus 145.
Plus 145. Yeah, I think that's a solid bet. I also think that the Raiders defense can also be beaten in the middle of it. So there is opportunities for them to score rushing touchdowns as well, coupled with the fact that if the Chargers do have a lead late into the game, I'm not sure how much they'll be throwing when they get close to the red zone. So personally, I think it's okay for a sprinkle, but yeah, if you are betting that, I guess you'd also assume that you're liking the over and it to be a really competitive game.
Okay, fair enough. I love it when you talk dirty to me, by the way. When you say you're sprinkling on something, oh my God, that sounds so good. AB, a lot of people are talking about team totals. We had a question on team totals today because you already talked about if you think they're going to be over 20, et cetera. So the Raiders are 24. The Chargers are 27.5. Do you like either one of those?
I like the Raiders. I'll say this. If you look just this season, the Raiders are averaging 30 points per game. The Chargers are around 22. Now, the Chargers have played some pretty good teams, okay? And that speaks both offensively and defensively. So you have to kind of, work your own numbers in that. But I like that Raiders a lot. Like, I think that there's a lot of value, in that number. Also, speaking of a number, I just love our chat because somebody, after you gave that T-shirt, somebody said, Coach, if you send me the pint glass, I'll drink beer out of it for 7 days a week, which is awesome. So I just had to say that. It's hilarious. But, yeah, I think I like the Raiders more than the Chargers in terms of that number.
I saw some guy say, send me some early edge shorts. I'll do the Bugs Bunny whatever from YouTube or Instagram. Well, right now there are no Instagram battles or whatever those stupid challenges are called.
Hey,
so
I'll say that. Be careful with that one. I know what that is. Be careful on that one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what it was.
I'm kidding. It's not that bad. I was kidding. It's not that bad.
Okay, good. I was like, did I just get myself in trouble? I didn't know it. All right. Yeah. Mikey, I got to come back to you. We had a YouTube question on Mike Williams over 5.5 catches. You like the receiving yards, but do you like the catches?
I would lean that way. It depends on the number you're getting. If you're laying like I saw it earlier, it was like minus 140 at that number. I would lay off there. Let me see if I can find the receptions quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah, it's minus 145 where I'm at.
Okay.
So I'm not going to touch that there. I think it's a great bet for 5. I think that it's pretty fragile between that 5 and 7 number. But I do expect him to have those long receiving yards. So the other thing that's kind of, you have to consider a little bit there, if you're looking at longer receiving yards props, longer receptions, it actually, if they come those passes, it leads to fewer passing attempts and fewer opportunities for him to catch the football. I don't like it over 5.5 if you're laying juice like that. I would frankly prefer 6.5 with some plus money, but I do not feel good about laying minus 145 on that one.
Okay. Let's come back to you, Alex. Drake over 17.5 receiving yards at minus 128.
17.5 was the number, Coach?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that a lot. He's been heavily involved in the passing game. Even when Jacobs was healthy, they were utilizing him a lot. They've given him a lot of money. They're not paying him to sit on the bench. He is a very good pass-catching back. Yeah, I like that.
All right. AB, we got somebody out there that says they can't find their kicker props.
Yep. If you go to Caesars and you click on the game and you click player props, you're going to see quarterbacks come up, scroll down, and you'll see kickers at the bottom. You're going to see field goals made. You'll also see points in terms of, extra points and field goals included in that. Yep. There you go right there.
Thank you. And you talk about market movers. My book just took out 1.5 and changed it to 2.5 on both sides. Come on. If I need any more, just stop it. All right. We're at 680 likes. I've just been told by the bosses, we got to get to 700. We'll give away that incredible pint glass. And I'm not going to send it to somebody who's willing to drink 7 days a week. I'm not going to lead to somebody. All right. Alex, what do you got for us, pal?
If they smash that like button, we're going to win all the bets tonight. So we got to get to 700.
Oh, look at that. But if we don't get over 700, then what happens? Do we not win any of these bets tonight?
We'll just go like 75% or something.
Yeah, that's still phenomenal. All right, let's keep it going because a lot of times people love the sexy props. When I say sexy props, I'm not talking about CS picks, okay? I'm talking about the over and under attempts wise. So where in the world did it go to? I apologize. I love attempt props. So here's the numbers on the quarterbacks, guys. And just raise your hand if you want to jump in. Yardage. Carr, 282.5. Justin Herbert, 295.5. It's juiced pretty heavy, minus 155 and minus 152. Anybody?
I mean, I prefer, especially when you consider game script, I think I prefer the Carr prop more than the Herbert one. I will say this, though. I think the way these defenses play, I think they're almost going to be inviting the run a little bit. So I want to temper the expectations a little bit when it comes to the pass attempts and the yardage. But given the game script that I think, is going to occur here, I would probably go with Carr rather than Herbert.
Okay, let's go. Okay, Alex, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I just want to kind of back what Cia said. I would agree with all that. I would look, Carr would be the preferred choice between the two, but the Chargers defense has been really vulnerable in the middle of the defense to opposing running backs. So you would think that they would invite the Raiders to run on them, and the Raiders could be able to effectively run the ball against them. However, in a game script situation, it's very likely, or very possible, I should say, that they could abandon the run and be forced to throw. And yeah, Carr's racked up a ton of passing yards this season. So yeah, I do like Carr there.
All right, very good. Jeweler just had a great idea. In the comments section, tell me why you want the pint glass so bad, because apparently this is a very popular prize, and I'll be honest with you, I want one as bad as anybody else. It looks very, very cool because we just started making the early edge stuff. And for those of you who don't know, when you see Noah in the comments, send him a thank you. He runs everything at SportsLine. He's like the godfather. Just send him a thank you because we're building something here, and I freaking love it. All right, let's go attempts for quarterbacks. Derek Carr, 36.5. Not too bad, minus 130. Justin Herbert, 37.5, minus 140. Anybody have a feeling one way or the other? This is always a tough prop to bet because you just don't know. Mikey?
Yeah, I'll say that it is a fragile situation again because both teams are actually pretty terrible against the run, which it definitely takes away opportunities. It's standard one in a primetime game where I think it's mostly efficient. Whichever way you lean in the game is probably where I'm going to lean here. If you're leaning over in this game, I would lean towards the over on both attempts and yardage. If you're leaning towards the under, I would either play the under or stay away, likely just stay away from it.
Oh, look at my man said he needs a pint glass so he can turn around and give it back to me. You know what? You know how to get to my good side. You really, really do. Now, I had a really good comment in the YouTube comments section. Mikey, you've really started to spoil our viewers with same-game teasers, same-game parlays. I want all four of you to think about perhaps a teaser or a parlay that you like in the game tonight, because we're getting down to it, and we've got to get to our Van Jefferson Memorial first touchdown pick as well. But does anybody have a teaser or a parlay you'd like to give out on the show right now that might be just for fun? That might be a fun way to sweat the game tonight.
I'll build one while we're talking, and then we'll.
Man, I knew you would come through for me.
Yeah, as you guys know, I play literally everything I give out because, frankly, I'm a little greedy, and I don't want you winning without having some skin in the game myself, because it just doesn't sit well with me. So I got to make sure that I have it in as I'm giving it out to you.
Fair enough.
Give me a few minutes, and I'll get it in.
Fair enough. You go ahead. Alex, you got something for me?
Yeah, just to get back on Carr's completions, if you're into trends and recent trends, he's gone over 3 straight games. He's averaging 45 passing attempts per game. And yeah, if you look at that type of stuff, it is game script dependent a little bit, but yeah, it does. If you like recent trends, it's looking good.
The only reason I laugh, and you know why I laugh, is because it's impossible to get you off your props. It's impossible. And that's why we love you so much. You are so laser focused. All right. I just found my winner, gentlemen. I just found my winner. My man, Butch Hagenman. You are our winner. And he says, Coach, I had to stop drinking last year, and a Diet Coke on ice would be as close as it could get to heaven right now. Well, Butch, we like to change lives, and we like to send people to heaven. So you just won. You're going to have a very new off the presses or whatever they make the glass stuff with, and we're going to be sending it to you. And I want you to post a picture, tweet a picture. Let us know how that Diet Coke tastes, because I think Alex is drinking his coffee right now. You can't drink coffee out of the pint glass. It's got to be Diet Coke. It's got to be the cold ones. But don't worry. We'll get there. Oh, I love all of you so much. All right. We are down to it. We are down. I want to make sure no more teasers, no more parlays. Okay, so we've only got a few minutes left. We have learned on Monday night we've got to end a little early so you can get all of these plays in, okay? But a few weeks ago, for those of you who are new, we just threw out on a whim. And my man M Squared says, first touchdown of the game, Van Jefferson, plus 4,000. Boom, cashed it. Then the very next night, Sia, what did you have that particular? It's hard for me to remember all these winners. What'd you have?
A guy that wasn't even active last week, Tyson Williams.
At plus 1,200, 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. So we've made it a staple on every primetime show that we give out. I make all of my cappers do a little homework, extra homework, and give me one name at plus 1,000 or above. There can be a fun sweat at the start of the game for the first touchdown, and we think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns tonight. So, AB, I know you're locked and loaded. What do you got for your first touchdown of the game tonight?
Absolutely. Go ahead and hit me with that Derek Carr plus 2,900. I'm going to ride with my man DC. Also, side note, if anybody wants to have a little fun, prop bet on this game tonight, 2 of the 3 Raiders games have gone to overtime this season, sitting a nice little plus 900. Just put that out there. If you want a little $5 bet to have some fun, yeah.
Okay, very, very good. All right, see ya. Are you going to make it 2 so far in 4 weeks?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a fun one and a not so fun one. Austin Eckler at 7-1. Given the volume he's going to get, I mean, 7-1 isn't a sexy play, but I genuinely think there's some value in that number with Austin Eckler. As much value as you could get with a first touchdown prop. Let's qualify it there. The other one is 35-1. And it's Donald Parham, who doesn't get a lot of targets. He's the blocking tight end as opposed to Jared Cook, who's usually just going out for running routes and going out for passes. Now, Donald Parham in snap share is actually around 50%. He doesn't go out. He doesn't run a ton of routes, but honestly, he does have a catch on the season. He has a few targets, and it's just the perfect setup for him to look like he's blocking. It looks like a run. Everybody's paying attention to Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and company, and he's just sitting there wide open in the end zone. So give me 35-1. Just sprinkle a little bit on it.
I just sprinkled just a little bit. By the way, the bosses just called me again. I can't make this stuff up. They just called me again. They said, Coach, the pint glass is so popular. If we get to 800 likes before the end of the show, we've only got like 3 minutes. We're at 743. So if 57 of you haven't hit the like button, do it right now. I'll give away one more pint glass at 800 likes. Now, Alex, talk to me, baby. What do you got? Oh, no, you pulled a Jay Smooth. You pulled a Jay Smooth.
Am I
All
back?
right. You're back, baby. You're back. Let's go.
I've got Jalen Guyton at plus 2,400. I mentioned earlier that 72.4% of Herbert's attempts are going to the wide receivers. Guyton is the third wide receiver on the offense. He's blazing fast. He runs a 4.3 40. He's a burner. He's got a career 17.5 yards per catch average. He's the preferred deep threat for Herbert. So, I can totally foresee a situation where the first touchdown is a bomb to his favorite deep threat receiver. So Jalen Guyton plus 2,400.
I love when you guys come through with these big numbers. I love it. All right, Mikey, what do you got, pal?
Both of mine have already been taken by the first two guys here on.
No.
So we're on the value. It's the same thing. There's no value in taking someone less than 10-1 in a first touchdown prop. They're just inflated. Donald Parham is my favorite by far at 35-1. Just like OJ Howard last night. You saw, if you watched the game, had a target in the red zone there, only comes onto the field in the red zone to run extra routes there. So that's my favorite play there. If I wasn't going to play him or Guyton, it would probably, third. Brian Edwards at 22-1, Hunter Renfrow at 1,800. I think Hunter Renfrow at 1,800 is probably going to be the next best bet there. But in this particular game, because the targets are so concentrated on that Chargers side, there is a lot of value on those secondary pieces for the Chargers that are typically only going to be in there in those sets.
All right, very good. So we have Parham, we have Carr, we have Eckler, little Brian Edwards, Guyton, Renfrow, several different plays for you just to sprinkle a little bit. Sprinkle a little bit on like 3 or 4. I mean, because if one of them hits, you're going to make money. If you sprinkle on 3 or 4, so it's a lot of fun. Okay, so you guys responded. We got over 800, just like that. So I need you to drop a few more Twitter handles in the comment section very quickly, and whoever gets their Twitter handle in, we're going to pick out of the ones that you put in right now, because I'm going to go to the recap. So you've got literally 20 seconds to get your Twitter handle in the comment section. So here is the recap, and as always, it looks absolutely glorious. And don't worry, I'll read it you guys are amazing. It's amazing how quickly you can type your Twitter handle. Keep them coming. I'll talk slow. So AB, he's on the over 51.5. Then Daniel Carlson over 1.5 field goals. And Justin Herbert, he has to throw 1 interception to cash. Now, Jay Smooth from this morning, Brian Edwards, we just heard his name, over 34.5 receiving yards, minus 115. Then M squared, one official play on the show. Mike Williams over his receiving prop, 76.5, and you saw it move live here on the show. Then Alex, Austin Eckler, over. He got it at 34.5. It's still around 39 or 40. He said it's cool to play it at that number as well. We gave it out on Friday. Then Sia, Hunter Renfrow, just heard that name, over 49.5 receiving yards. And then our man Zach Attack, the only person on the show that's on a side, and that's the Chargers minus 3. Then Jared Cook, Chargers over 39.5 receiving yards, and Henry Ruggs over 44.5 receiving yards. Okay, we got one thing left to do. The jeweler, he has found our winner. So here we go. The second pint glass winner looks like this. At Jason M624. At Jason M624. But don't worry, we're going to continue to do this every single primetime show. So if you haven't won yet, don't worry. Don't worry. You will. I know a guy. All right. So it is 7:58. So now you have all the time. The next 15 minutes, go get your plays in, enjoy the game. And I also want to thank you one more time. You made yesterday our highest viewed day ever. And tonight, an incredible audience as well. You guys are building. You're telling your friends. You're coming. You're staying positive. You're being interactive. Everything we want Early Edge and SportsLine to be, you guys are doing it. You guys are doing it. And I can't thank you enough. And all my guys and my girls, whoever, we love it, we grind, and we do it for you. But the favorite part of this entire job is getting to watch the games and meeting you, you know where I'm getting ready to go right now. You've got your marching orders. Oh, that feels so good. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my man AB, for Sia, Alex, M Squared, the jeweler, our entire team, I am the coach. Thanks for watching, and tell your friends, the most fun show, the most transparent show, and your daily show of record? There's only one. We like to call it the Early Edge. Good luck.